Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the meeting of the Georges River Local Planning Panel for Thursday, the 22nd of August 2024. My name is Donna Reigate and I'm chairing this panel. The panel is currently streaming from the Georges River Council offices in McMahon Street, Hurstville. The people who make up the panel today are Awais Karacha and Graham Brown, who are our expert panel members, and Georgia Kisia, who is the community representative on this panel, and in particular, welcome to you. We're the panel that have been appointed by the Minister for Planning to determine specified development applications, including the development applications that are on the agenda today, in accordance with the requirements of the Environmental Planning and Assessment Act. The Georges River Local Planning Panel acknowledges the Bidjigal people of the Eora Nation, who are the traditional custodians of all lands, waters and sky in the Georges River area. We pay our respects to elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples who live, work and meet on these lands. I'm required to advise you that under the provisions of the Environmental Planning and Assessment Act 1979, this meeting of the panel is being live streamed and will be made available on Council's website. In accordance with the revised meeting protocols, interested parties wishing to make representations to the panel were requested to register a summary of their interests. A total of 3 registrations were received and forwarded to the panel. The panel has reviewed the registrations and advised the council officers that we're very happy to hear oral submissions from the following persons who will be called on during the course of the meeting in the order of the items as published on council's website. Our first speaker for item LPP 031-24, the address of which is 2 to 4 Vaughan Street, Blakehurst, is Robbie Oeja. The next 2 speakers are speaking in relation to LPP 034-24, which is a proposal at 3 Ben Werin Avenue, Cars Park. They are Mark Raimundo and Angela Carpuzos. As required by the Local Planning Panel Code of Conduct, panel members are required to disclose any conflicts of interest in respect of any matter on the agenda for a panel meeting. The relevant forms as prescribed by the New South Wales Department of Planning have been completed and are tabled for council to be included in the online minutes of the meeting. No panel member has disclosed any conflict of interest in any matter on today's agenda. Okay, so the panel has received a completed assessment report from council staff for each of the 5 development applications it's looking at today. The panel has undertaken inspection of the sites and nearby localities for the 5 matters on the agenda today, and we will deal with each application in order as published on council's website. Those being DA 2023-0434, 2 to 4 Vaughan Street, Blakehurst, demolition of existing structures, lot consolidation and construction of a 5-storey residential flat building containing 22 residential apartments comprising 4 by 1 bed, 13 by 2 bed and 5 by 3 bed units above 2 levels of basement parking for 32 vehicles, landscaping and site works. The second one is DA 2024-0075, 143 Forest Road, Hurstville, New South Wales, 2220. Fit out and change of use of the premises for the purposes of a laundromat, including external signage. Third is DA 2024/0149, which is 82 Ponyara Road, Beverly Hills, New South Wales 2209. Alterations to an existing place of public worship involving the installation of 2 external doors servicing the church hall. Fourthly, we have DA 2023-/0404, 3 Ben Werin Avenue, Cars Park, alterations and additions to the existing residential dwelling, including the construction of a 1st floor addition. And lastly is DA 2024/0036 24 Montgomery Street, Kogarah, change of use of tenancies within a heritage listed building for use as a gymnasium, including the internal fit out and signage. Okay, so how does this all work? As we progress through the matters on the agenda, only those persons who have registered to speak will be able to make representations to the panel. Each person who has registered to speak is requested to limit their presentation to 3 minutes. I would ask those people that are invited to speak to the panel via Teams that they speak clearly and of a volume that will project into the speakers to assist those viewing the live streaming so that they can hear clearly what is being said and so that we can hear it as well. To manage the live streaming process, all speakers should leave their camera and microphone turned off until their turn to speak is called. At this time, I remind these persons that any defamatory, discriminatory or offensive language used may result in the author being exposed to liability for which counsel and the panel take no responsibility. So once we've heard all the oral submissions on a particular application, we will move on to the next application, and members of the public are free to continue to listen to the whole broadcast if they wish. The determination of the applications will be made in closed session, which is not live streamed or recorded. The determination will be available on Council's website once confirmed by the panel, and that's usually within 2 to 3 days of the meeting being held. Right, so now that the preliminaries are out of the way, we'll call the first item, and I would like to invite Robbie Owijan, who is joining us via Teams to speak in relation to the application involving 2 to 4 Bourne Street, Lakehurst.
Good afternoon, panel. Thanks for the opportunity to present my concerns. First of all, I'd like to address that I have no issue with the development. However, I have 4 concerns. The first one being the car park. It's of close proximity to my lot. At the moment, Stewart Lane can only 2 cars can pass through, whereas Vaughan Street it can allow 3 cars to pass through. I feel that the Stewart Lane is already spent. It's very loud, busy, and it's congested. The other thing that I'd like to mention is the rubbish as well. That will add to the congestion. I once saw that the fire truck wasn't able to go to Stewart Lane because some cars were parked on the left-hand side. There is also the matter of the rubbish bins when they put them outside. It's going to basically cause more congestion. If we look at my questions in the car park, the receiver number 2, if the owner decides to build apartments, then where is her entrance car park going to be compared to my car park, compared to the developer right now? It's going to be extremely impossible. In regards to the tree right now, that is close by neighbor's tree, it is a concern of mine because it used to look like a broccoli. Now it looks like a broccolini. Everybody is helping themselves to trim a little bit. I think I heard a rumor today that it was a bit of a trimming today. And the concern that I have is that all the branches now are on my property. And if the builder starts to excavate, the roots might give in and it might land either on my property or on his property. And I feel a bit concerned about the tree at the moment. And finally, I have fear of phobias with the cranes. It was not long in, just recently, there was another crane collapse, and I don't mind if they have a crane as long as it doesn't go over my property. But in all matters, these are my main concern, one being the car park, the noise, and the tree. I am here if anybody would like to ask any questions. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much for addressing us today. We don't have any other registered speakers on that matter, so I'll just ask whether members of the panel have any questions for Robbie before he leaves. No. Okay. Thank you very much, Robbie. We appreciate your time this afternoon.
Thank you for the opportunity.
I'll now move on to the proposal at 3 Ben Warren Avenue, Cars Park, and ask Mark Raimundo to address us. Angela Kapoussos is also registered to address us on this matter.
To the Chair and local planning panel members, thank you for the opportunity to address you today. We stand before you to discuss our application for a first floor addition to our home, which marks our fourth attempt over the last 2+ years at seeking approval for a much needed extension. As many of you know, adding space to our current 3-bedroom home is not just a matter of preference. It has become a necessity for our growing family. We want to express our gratitude for the time and effort that has gone into assessing our application. We have patiently awaited the outcome and refrained from pursuing the council during this process. We understand the importance of thorough evaluations and appreciate the diligence with which you approach your work. Our current living situation has become increasingly cramped, which not only affects our comfort but also impacts our day-to-day activities. Our children are growing, and the need for additional space for play, study, and family gatherings is more pressing than ever. We envision a home that accommodates our family's needs while enhancing the neighbourhood's overall atmosphere. As you consider our application, we urge you to focus on the approval of the house extension itself, while separating landscaping considerations as a future phase. We believe that this approach will allow us to move forward with the essential expansion of our living space without delaying the project due to landscaping details. Once the addition is approved, we can engage with the council to develop landscaping plans that harmonise with the existing environment. In conclusion, we appreciate your attention to our request for a first floor addition. This expansion is vital for our family, and I'm hopeful that you will see the merit in our application. Thank you once again for your time and consideration. We hope for your support in approaching this much needed addition to our home.
Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Raimundo, do you wish to address us as well?
Yes, I do. Okay. Good afternoon, Chair and local planning panel members. My name is Mark Raimondo. I'm the town planner who was engaged actually after the council sent their request for additional information letter. There were, from recollection, numerous items which were raised in council letter regarding floor space ratio, the size of the balconies, height of building. We obviously tried to address as many concerns as we could, and the intended clause 4.6 was to acknowledge what the existing condition was. Whilst we do note that council does have concern with the application regarding landscaping, we tried to separate the approaches of thinking about it this way: what could be reasonably supported given the relatively high level of compliance. So by omitting the landscaping component as part of this application, by omitting any overhanging balconies within the front setback and the rear setback, I believe that we generally have a compliant design. I understand that council does raise concern with the lack of RLs in relation to height. I do note that whilst additional information can't be just handed to the panel, we are requesting the panel for deferral to give us an opportunity to submit the additional information for RLs. We also note that it does have a pitched roof to which can be lowered. There is scope for that to be lowered if there is any potential issue. On that basis, we do thank you for your time and do hope you can consider our request.
Thank you very much. Now, members of the panel, questions for these speakers? No? Yes? No. Okay. No questions.
No questions.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. As far as I know, that's it for our speakers, unless somebody's emerged from the woodwork in the last 5 minutes. No. Okay, well, thank you very much to everybody who has either come along or joined us on Teams to address the panel and to watch this afternoon's proceedings. As I said, what happens now is that we will go into closed session, which isn't live streamed or broadcast or recorded, and our determination will be available on Council's website once confirmed, and usually within 2 to 3 days of the meeting. So thank you very much, everybody. I'll declare this public meeting closed.